I do not think we should so lightly abandon the outer defenses. Defenses that your brother long held intact.
What would you have me do?
I will not yield the river in Pelennor unfought. Osgiliath must be retaken.
My lord, Osgiliath is overrun.
Much must be risked in war. Is there a captain here who still has the courage to do his lord's will?
You wish now that our places had been exchanged. That I had died and Boromir had lived.
Yes. I wish that.
Since you were robbed of Boromir, I will do what I can in his stead. If I should return, think better of me, Father.
That will depend on the manner of your return.
Family Proclamation Project Part 8. Children between the ages of 2 and 17 experience some form of child abuse or neglect. In 80% of cases, parents or caregivers were responsible for the maltreatment of children. Child abuse is often hidden, even more so than physical abuse, and children are often bartered with to keep quiet about the abuse in the home. Some of the risk factors for abuse is low parent involvement, poor parent-child relationships, low parental warmth, an authoritarian parenting style, poor marital quality, dissatisfaction of the child, unrealistic expectations of children, and low impulse control. Prenatal problems such as low birth weight are common with children who have been maltreated. Child disability is common as well as maladaptive personality traits and difficult/impulsive temperament. Many of these traits appear due to learned behavior from inappropriate adults in the child's life. Half of sex offenders have been abused in their lives, and children who have witnessed abuse in their family relationships are more likely to experience partner violence in their lives. Fathers or father figures are implicated in 28.2% of abuse cases. Mothers or mother figures are implicated in 32.1% of cases. This is explained because mothers spend more time with children at home. However, men are responsible for more severe forms of maltreatment. Boys are more likely than girls to be physically beat and victims of physical abuse. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believe that sex is a unifying experience between husband and wife. It is a symbol of total union of the soul. Sexual abuse is a violation of moral agency and a violation of the soul itself. Those who are victims of such abuse are likely to experience difficulties in a sexual union between husband and wife. This occurs both in and outside of the family. Sexual abuse can include physical and non-physical actions, such as being exposed to pornography. It is sexual exploitation over a vulnerable individual at the advantage of the perpetrator, such as age and physical maturity. According to the World Health Organization, in 2002, 20% of women and 5% to 10% of men were sexually abused as children. In the U.S., it is expected that 14% of men and 32% of women were abused as children in this manner. Commonly, it was believed that psychological abuse was only a side effect of other abuse. Now, it is recognized as its own form of abuse. This occurs when a child is degraded, isolated from appropriate interaction, threats of harm are spoken, and ignoring the child's emotional needs. Even though psychological abuse often occurs with other forms of abuse, it can be just as damaging, if not more so, than other maltreatment. At the core, psychological abuse is a pattern of demeaning, devaluing, and conveying that he or she is unlovable, unwanted, and without worth. Children learn from the people in their lives, especially caretakers, how to view themselves and what to believe about themselves. Psychological abuse more strongly predicts behavior like social impairment, suicidal thoughts, low self-esteem, and behaviors that show lashing out, like drug abuse. In the U.S., 1 in 4 women will experience partner violence once in their life. 1.3 million women are raped/physically assaulted by their partners. 1/3 of female homicide victims are killed by an intimate partner. It creates more than 18.5 million mental health crises each year. Worldwide, 29% to 62% of women experience physical and sexual violence by an intimate partner. When divorce can get messy, sometimes a woman will falsify abuse to gain custody of children or financial assets. In states where the court sides primarily with women who don't have evidence, it can permanently affect the man in the situation. In many cases, he must go to great lengths to clear his name and gain access to his children and shared marital property. This kind of behavior is abhorrent and only makes victims of real abuse to be questioned. This is when elderly individuals who rely on another's care are exploited emotionally, physically, financially, sexually, neglected, and generally maltreated. This is more often than not happen in the home and family, but it can still happen at nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Risk factors of elder abuse include a shared living situation, social isolation, strained family relationships, and dementia. When we undertake to exercise control or dominion or compulsion upon the souls of children of men in any degree of unrighteousness, behold, the heavens withdraw themselves, the Spirit of the Lord is grieved, and when it is withdrawn, amen to the priesthood or authority of that man. Any form of physical or mental abuse to any woman is not worthy of priesthood holder. This, of course, means verbal as well as physical abuse. Overall, abuse has long-lasting effects on victims. There are many different kinds of abuse that affect people of all ages, races, and genders. Psychological abuse can be just as severe or worse than physical abuse. The church is against abuse of any kind.